After 11 years and tens of thousands of sales down under, Hyundai's popular iLoad delivery van has been replaced by a more eye-catching, technologically advanced and driver-friendly Staria Load. But is that and the latest safety tech worth paying thousands of dollars extra for in a humble load lugger? Let's find out. Competing against a growing number of feature-packed models in the medium van segment, including the big-selling Toyota HiAce and Ford Transit Custom, the new Staria Load builds on the Hyundai iLoad legacy by bringing more space, comfort, safety and technology. However, the boost in SUV-like safety and convenience features has seen the starting price for the auto variant increase by more than $3,000. The 5.2 metre long by 2 metre wide load lugger is available in 2-seat commercial or 5-seat crew cab configurations, with the choice of double sliding doors and a top hinged tailgate or barn style rear doors. Here we're testing the entry-level 3-door, 2-seat liftback model, priced from just over $45,000 plus on-roads. You won't miss the Staria Load at your local Bunnings car park, with the new van sharing its swoopy, spaceship-like styling with the latest Staria people mover, including full colour coding for the front grille, bumpers, door handles and side mirrors. There's also a stylish rear end featuring a black top lip spoiler and elongated vertical taillights. But Hyundai has toned back the bling with just a black bonnet strip instead of the people mover's LED running lights and basic 17-inch steel wheels. Exterior colours are also limited to white or optional silver. Hyundai has made it easy for Staria Load buyers with just the one engine option, a 2.2 litre 4-cylinder turbo diesel that promises decent fuel economy at a claimed 7 litres per 100 kilometres, plus a 75 litre fuel tank. The turbo diesel engine is mated to a conventional 8-speed auto transmission, with drive now to the front wheels to free up more cargo space in the back. It's mostly good news from the front seats, with plenty of space and lots of passenger car-like features like an electric park brake and leather-covered gear knob and steering wheel with integrated controls and adjustment for tilt and reach. The well-cushioned driver's seat is adjustable for height and covered in a hard-wearing black upholstery, although there are no fold-down centre armrests for the driver or passenger. There's old-school manual air conditioning dials and a key ignition too, but they don't detract from an otherwise very modern setup. The big 8-inch infotainment touchscreen will also be familiar to many Hyundai passenger car drivers, which means it packs in plenty of features and is relatively easy to use, and it also features wireless, Apple CarPlay and Android Auto connectivity. There's also a handy wireless smartphone charger and a couple of USB and 12-volt sockets, while the dash-mounted 4.2-inch digital instrument cluster includes a trip computer and digital speedo. Now one of the safest vans on the market, the new Staria Load is literally loaded with the latest driver assistance aids, including autonomous emergency braking, with the adaptive cruise control working particularly well in busy highway traffic. The van also gets a class-leading 7 airbags, including a front centre bag, if things do happen to go wrong. Storage is also pretty good up front, with a few handy spots on top of and around the dash, including some cup holders, glove box, some spots in the side doors, and some overhead shelves. There's also a big empty space on the floor between the seats for larger items like plugging in a portable fridge. Hyundai says there's more space in the back of the Staria Load, and it's a lot easier to load things with the lower floor height. And with just over a 1-tonne payload, you should be able to get a couple of Australian pallets in the back, although it'll be a lot easier to load them with the rear barn doors option. You can also load large items through the wider side doors, and to keep things in place, there are 8 tie-down anchor points, along with felt board trim and vinyl floor covering for extra internal protection. So the Staria Load can fit in a suburb's worth of Australia Post parcels. But how are you going to feel after driving it around all day? Let's take it for a spin. So even though we're not carrying any big load on board, the van feels quite responsive and civilised to drive, thanks in part to the fact it borrows its platform from the Hyundai Santa Fe SUV, and also the fast, fairly smooth gear changes from the 8-speed auto. The van pulls away nicely from standstill, and with the engine's peak torque coming in quite early in the rev range, it should cope fine with a heavier load on board. You don't expect a top-heavy van to whiz around corners, but the Staria Load feels reasonably stable in the curves, and the steering is light and reasonably direct for zipping around in busy traffic. The leaf spring rear suspension rides the bumps quite confidently on suburban bitumen, delivering a pretty smooth ride, and there's just a little bit of floatiness at times on the freeway, although we don't have any weight in the back to help settle it down. You can hear the turbo diesel engine, but it's mostly pretty quiet inside the cabin, even at freeway speeds, with just a little bit of noise coming in from outside or with some boom from the back section. There's a lot of glass at the front and the side windows, so it's really easy to see out, and the disc brakes do a really good job of slowing the van down. The one thing we'd really like though is some brighter headlights for nighttime driving. There are 4 different driving modes to choose from, plus the option to change gears manually, but we reckon most drivers will be happy to stick it in drive and let the van do the work. While fuel economy will increase with extra weight on board, we achieved around 6.5 litres per 100 kilometres during a mix of driving, which is about on par with the claimed fuel consumption. Build quality also appears up to scratch, and the vehicle is backed by a 5-year unlimited kilometre factory warranty, with service intervals pegged at every 12 months or 15,000 kilometres. Parking a van isn't always easy, but it's child's play in the Staria Load, with big side mirrors that are also heated and fold in electrically. Also making it super easy to park are front, side and rear cameras, with different screen modes for overhead and side views, along with front and rear parking sensors. While there are much cheaper options available, the Staria Load fits the bill as an easygoing, easy loading cargo van. The addition of more passenger car-like features also makes it a more comfortable and user-friendly mobile office. Not to mention a much safer place to be when spending long hours on the road every day, which makes the higher pricing much easier to justify for small business operators and fleet buyers alike.